On this episode then I'm going to be discussing a few methods on how to decide what regiment or what unit you want to try out for or aim towards going in the British Army. So welcome back to the channel, and if you don't know who I am, my name is Luke and welcome to Ranger Media. What it is then is about me bringing my own sort of passion for filmmaking, photography, and sort of combining that together with a day job, which is obviously the British Army, to really sort of bringing videos together, sort of that informative style video, to help people join the army if they wanted it, because I would have loved it if it was whenever I was joining up, or if you've no interest in joining up and you're just interested in that sort of military sort of stuff, it's to bring all that sort of informative stuff there. The filmmaking side of stuff is really like showcasing the talent that I see day to day in the British Army, and some stuff goes unnoticed, so I want to bring that sort of cinematic style in there to really showcase that talent.
Forward again and the fight against global terrorism in Iraq and in Afghanistan.
So one, it's giving you an insight into the army and what military life is like, both inside work and outside work, and two, it's helping me progress in my hobby and develop myself, whatever it may be. Right, so if that's something that you may think you'd like, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help the channel. Okay, and on that one then, the channel has grown considerably over the sort of past week, 1,000 subscribers odd in 1 week. You know, to put that under different perspective, last year 2019 it took about a year and a half to get anywhere near 1,000, and then we've just done that in 1 week, so thank you very much for that, greatly appreciated. And that's a big welcome to all the new subscribers come over the past couple of weeks, excuse me, and to all the sort of current subscribers, thank you very much for keep coming back again. I hopefully will have some outside stuff in the next week or so you don't get to see this face all the time, and you get to see what exactly people doing an infantry regiment. Hopefully next week, don't hold me to it. Right, so this week's video then, what I want to talk about is you know, how to join, not how to join the army, what way to go about deciding what you want to do when you join. But this one we're going to talk specifically on the infantry. So the sort of stuff you want to think about making your choices is, so the infantry is a big organisation, so you want to do roles, so what specific role you want to do within the infantry. Location can be another factor for someone looking to join, and I don't know how you put this one, sort of experiences, well, classes as experiences. Right, first one then, what we're going to talk about is roles. Okay, so there's a number of roles in the infantry. Okay, first one off the top of my head is armoured. So armoured is the warrior. So you think of it as like a small sort of tank. That role then comes under a few different regiments. I'm not going to name them all off the top of my head because I don't want to get them wrong, but I will leave them in the description. So if you don't know who they are, you can go find them. So that's like an armoured, and they will sort of use that sort of main warrior as their main vehicle, but you'll also do the infantry stuff. You'll not just drive it, and you'll not just operate the gun, and you'll not just command it, you will do the normal infantry soldiering as well. The only difference is you've now got a big not main battle tank, I'll be wrong, you've now got this sort of fighting vehicle as such to look after and maintain, and all the stuff that comes with that as well. So that's armoured. Okay, the other one then is mechanised. So that is the Mastiff. So you would have seen the Mastiff if you watched some videos here on YouTube, historical ones throughout Helmand. The Mastiff is a vehicle that came in through the Afghanistan campaign. Off the top of my head, I think it's 4 Scots, I could be wrong, don't know. I just know one of the Scottish battalions, there will be a few battalions, but I know in my head one of the Scottish battalions is a mechanised role. Same thing again, they'll use these to transport around the battlefield, maintain them, drive them, qualify them, but you'll also be getting out of the vehicle to do the normal soldiering infantry stuff that which you know and you've probably seen on YouTube as well. So that's mechanised, that's the first two. Okay, third one then is light protective mobility. It's a big one because it's my one, and the Royal Irish does it. 3 Scots is in it, an Anglian regiment, I don't know which one, Anglians, and there's someone else, I think maybe the Rifles, one of the Rifles battalions. I want to say 1 Rifles. I think they were going to re-roll into it. I could be wrong. Basically, that's the Foxhound vehicles. There's plenty of stuff on this channel, and I'll leave a link around here about what that vehicle is. But it's a smaller vehicle, very light, very nimble, very high tech, and transports you all across the battlefield, and you're still getting out to do all the business, but you're using this vehicle then to transport yourself around there. In this sort of mix with that, we've also got Jackal, which I believe we're going to get Coyote, and we've got Husky as well. So they're in our specialist support companies. So the mortars, javelin, heavy weapons, all that sort of business, they use them type of vehicles in the light protected mobility, and quads. Snipers have quads. So yes, a massive sort of array of different vehicles in a light protected mobility battalion. Right, other one then is, which everyone will know, is airborne forces. So airborne forces, you're going to think is parachute regiment, so the infantry style of stuff. Obviously there is also like artillery, med-reg, and other sort of different units who are within the air assault brigade. But that's their role, their trade. The infantry side of stuff is the parachute regiment, and it's 2 and 3 para are the regular army ones, and then also you've got 1 para which converted to SFSG, Special Forces Support Group. So airborne forces then, it does exactly what it says in the tin. They're going to insert into wherever they need to by air, so jumping out, you have to do P company, and that will be incorporated into your basic training. You'll do that business. The other side of stuff is you'll work with helicopters a lot, so Chinooks, so do a lot of air assaults. So the heli will drive, it will fly to a location, smash down very aggressively. You'll all bounce out the back. The only vehicle potentially would be a quad. When we were part of 16 Air Assault, we did. Yes, quad and trailer would fly out the back as well. You go do your business, that flies away off, and it comes down to pick you up again. So kind of like a raid type-ish scenario. You'll also do a lot of stuff around the helicopters, so learning how to rig up bits of kit, whether it be rations, water, weapons, vehicles, to be underslung onto helicopters, and then you'll learn how to bring helicopters in. So there's all sort of courses and stuff in around all that sort of stuff. Anything to do with airborne, sorry. I just needed to check my notes because I don't want to mess anyone out. Okay, the other one then is light roll. So light roll is just your like base standard infantry. They've got vehicles, but they're sort of soft skinned vehicles, and that's about it. So troop carrying vehicles, and they're just on the black taxis. Well, flip me, they're not black taxis anymore because the bits aren't black. Brown taxis now. So they're just on their feet, tabbing around the area. It can be good because once you finish an exercise or an operation, clean your weapon system, clean your own admin, your own kit, and then you're done. Whereas all these other different roles that I've just talked about, you've got to maintain the vehicles and stuff as well. Obviously, bar the parachute regiment because they're not maintaining Herculeses. That's the RAF's job. But the other ones with the big vehicles, you have to maintain and look after them vehicles as well as your own kit. So light roll, you don't have any of that kit and equipment, so it's just your own platoon weapon systems and sights and all that sort of business. So that's light roll. Okay, the other one then for the infantry, the last one is a more junior role, and that's a specialized infantry. So the way I look at this, they're not special forces, but they are. So they're basically based on, if you have any experience with military units, the Green Berets in America, so the American Army. They are special forces, specialized infantry aren't, but it's the same style of thing where small teams deploy out to countries to train different foreign armies up. So being mentors, you'll have loads of different skill sets within your team, whether it be medical, snipers, javelin, range quals, whatever specialized courses you can think of, and then each person in that team will deliver, will teach his or her specialist sort of role to wherever they're going to go to. That's a very rank heavy unit. It's a smaller looking organisation than what a normal regiment would be. So you're probably only looking really at going there once you've got a little bit of rank and a little bit of experience about you. Big boys rules in them units because it is very rank heavy, and if you want to save up the money, get amongst them because you're going to deploy a lot, and every time you go to deploy, like I've discussed before, you will get extra money. So that is, and that's all the roles then that are within the infantry. So a lot to choose from, and each one you can go delve a lot more into, but we don't have time for this video. But jump across onto the official sites and you will get a lot more information on each role. Yeah, so another driving factor for picking where you want to go is location. So quite a lot of people will, they will be like a bit older, and they'll be in their mid-20s or whatnot. They will have a family, or they'll have kids, or they'll have some sort of factor where they need to be close to home and to enable them to sort of commit to military life. So 100%, the people who fall within that category would look to pick a regiment closer to home. People who don't fall in that category, who are like the sort of lone wolf type style of people, who don't have any sort of, they haven't got any type of relationships yet, I wouldn't look for somewhere which is close to home. You join, in my eyes, when I was thinking, when you think to join the army, think about traveling the world and going and experiencing all these new experiences. So if you can do, I wouldn't be, so you pick a specific role because that's the role you like, you want to be a part of, and it so happens to be close to home, well, so be it. But I wouldn't let that pull you in there. So if you have that sort of role you want to do and it's far away from home, just go for it. The bonds you will and relationships you will build with people in camp, and you'll go on your own little sort of adventures at the weekends, or come long weekends or leave, you'll start to go with them places, them on holiday. You'll still visit home and stuff. It's still good and healthy to go home, but it makes it more exciting going home. When you're not constantly going there every night or every weekend. With your main leaves like summer, Christmas, half term, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so the last one then I want to talk about then is so you've taken consideration for location and roles. The other one then is family. So for people who are becoming part of a military family, whether that be their grandfather, great grandfather, father, uncle, brother, whatever it may be, has served, that will be a driving factor into the path of what regiment or unit they go to. But for other people then who don't have any sort of military in a particular regiment, and they're the first of the bloodline, so to speak, of joining the army, you are then the very tip of that tree, and then you're making the history for your own sort of family and its military path. But regiments then in the British Army are extremely unique. Each regiment has its own headdress. Obviously our uniforms are all still the same, but you'll have your own sort of flash on your arms, and it's unique, and you're very rich in history. So each regiment, especially in the British Army, has histories that go flipping back like a lot, hundreds of years, and you can access that very widely with the power of the internet and museums. Obviously not museums at this moment in time, but internet is a big thing. You can really dive into the sort of history of your own specific regiment to really sort of make that sort of gauge on where has that regiment been, what way do they operate, and do I want to be a part of that, and that sort of stuff. There's quite a lot of documentaries online to do that, so you can see your regiment and how it operates, because pretty much everyone deployed on Helmand is in regiment wise, so you can see what they get up to, and sort of there's documentaries out there. Ross Kemp is a big one. He'd done a few documentaries on a few different regiments, but there's also other documentaries across the internet regards to that, so you can really delve in to sort of see where that sort of regiment has been. So yes, that is the sort of free-ish sort of ways you sort of look at what way you want to pick specific to the infantry. Obviously there's no sort of magic, oh, phone's gone, there's no is that still recording? Yeah, there's no sort of magic formula or magic ingredient to make the right decision. Ultimately it comes down to you and the research you put into it, and what really makes you go the internet is brilliant. You've got access to it now. You can look at all these things. You can go, right, I want to be a part of them, or I want to be a part of that. I want to do that role, or I like the way they operate in that role. And then the journey comes down to you. Now, if you do and you commit to it and you go to training and you get into the actual regiment itself, because obviously regiment life is different to what training is. You're like, oh, I do not like this isn't for me. Do not pull the pin straight away. You can transfer. So you transfer to a different infantry regiment to do a different role. If you don't like that, just go out into the actual army itself, which is said at the very start of the video. It is a huge organisation, so many different roles you can do, and have a test of the water. And sort of have a look in there, and if it's still nothing, well then you can get out, but I guarantee you will have got something out of it anyway, because it is a great experience. You can network, friends for life, all that business, which I have mentioned in other videos. Right, so I hope you got something out of that video then. It did get a few questions reference how to do it, so I thought I'd just sort of make this together, sort of to group all them questions together. Tongue twister there. But if it's something you got something out of, please give it a like and share it on to someone who you feel like would get something out of it. So if it's someone who is going through that whole scenario where they're trying to decide what to do, share this on to them, and maybe it might help them make that decision a little bit better. And like I said, if you're not joining the British Army, hopefully you will got a little bit more insight into what the infantry does, as in the wider sort of roles to do in there, and all the sort of I'm now alluding to and pointing you to in the directions to find out all the great history the infantry at the British Army as a whole has to offer, but the infantry regiments have like gleaming lines of history. Right, and if you'd like the video as in general, please like and subscribe, and thank you to all the new subscribers, current ones, really appreciated, and I will see you again on another video. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you're not aware, I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, and that will be the sort of still photography style stuff. So videos here, there will be other videos on the other platforms, but Instagram will 100% be the sort of more still imagery of sort of infantry, light protect mobility, Royal Irish, Rangers to be specific. You'll get all that there. Also, if you've got any questions and you don't want to drop it down here in the comments section below, and it's like a bit more privately, jump onto them sort of platforms and you can sort of you can direct mail and sort of get that sort of private sort of message on there. But please do engage down below in the comment section, because if you do have a question and I answer it, someone else might get the answer from you asking that question, and just keep that community growing, especially if you are going to look into join training, because it is really good to have friends in the butts as such. And what I mean by that is start to get to know people before you go into the process. It certainly helps out. Okay, so that is it, and I will see you again in hopefully next week for another video. It will be, I'll bring another one to you. Leave a comment below what you want to see. Only joking, I'll bring one. Yes, I'll see you again next week.